Okay, this is Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena. Yay! I'm hitting y'all with the bun. You know what I'm saying? My baby hairs ain't doing it today. I did the best I could because, wants to act up. But other than that, it's going to be a good episode. So grab you a beverage, some popcorn, some chips, or whatever, because this finna be a good episode, and I cannot wait to get started. Now, we finna start with bar time. Bar time is where we talk about singles that was released and just really like dig into like the bars and the concept of the bar, you know what I mean? Whether we just found some similes, metaphors, or whatever. So we just breaking it down. So Family Ties by Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar. Okay, so Family Ties, I mean, they're both cousins. So that's why they named the song as, Family Ties. So it makes sense. And we finna start off with the first bar right here. I am the Omega, PG Lane, Rolly Gang, SIE, don't address me unless it's with four letters. Now, Kendrick Lamar started his verse with this. So Omega is like a Rolex. Like there's a Rolex that is named Omega. So that's why afterwards he says Rolly Gang, which I find that very cool. And also Omega is like a biblical word. So this is like a double entendre. And PG Lang is actually a multidisciplinary media company co-founded by Kendrick Lamar. So of course, selfless plug, okay? And don't address me unless it's with four letters. Now, for the past 10 years, Kendrick Lamar is deemed one of the dopest lyricists, especially out here from the West Coast. So that's why he said, "Hey, don't address me unless it's with four letters." Saying that, hey, I put my work in and this is why I'm at where I'm at now. So yeah, I am deemed to go. You know what I mean? So it's a little cocky bar there, you know what I'm saying? Not all the way cocky, add some biblical taste in there. So yeah, I like that. And then going on to the next one. New flows coming. Be patient, brother. Show my bottom and take y'all to class. I can multitask like Megan, brother. This is like a shout out to Megan Thee Stallion because we all know that Megan Thee Stallion is doing her thing right now, and doing her rap career, going to college, and and she is known to have like change up her flows when it comes to like rapping and stuff like that. So this was really a shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, which I find very cool to see a male artist acknowledge a female artist. So that was very cool, very dope. So the next bar we're going to do is 2021. I ain't taking no prisoners. I'm sorry. I ain't taking no prisoner. Last year, y'all messed up all the listeners. We went platinum. I call that a visitor. Who's the bump backing them? All been falsified. Now, of course, we have to clean the lyrics up because, we filming and, we don't want to, we don't know if kids is watching, so we had to clean up. So this part right here, why I like to talk about it is that he's just talking about how, how streaming sales be and how some artists boost up and fake their streaming sales. So that's why he says, last year y'all messed up the listener because we found out that some artists was really like boosting and faking their streams, just to seem that, oh yeah, I got 1 million streams on this song and my song did great, knowing that it was all bots and it's not real people, which is messed up, which is why he said that. And I wanted to put that in the forefront because it's just sad how people do that, and we way past the pure physical sales. And it's just crazy how everything changed because, years ago, it was pure sales, CD sales and stuff like that. And since when streaming came along, it's so easy to manipulate the numbers, which back then it wasn't as simple because we got RIAA, certified, and you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to manipulate unless you like the labels and, and they hardly do that. But now in the streaming era, a lot of that is common. So I'm glad that Kendrick put this and talk about it. So Yeah, so that was that, and that is Family Ties by Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to both of them, and you know, it was a dope song. I replayed it, and I will repeat it today. Next, we got Selfish Flag, Tough and Rough by Kimmie Diamond. Yes, yours truly, me. Yep. I'm a true hip hop baby, so that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so that is my artwork right there. Okay, the photo shoot was done in LA. All right, so yeah, got that TFC tracksuit on. So first, we're gonna start off with "Surrounded by a Lifestyle That's Infatuated." Watered down thugs can't relate to my pain. Now, this bar right here is, you know, like I said, I'm from LA, South Central to be exact. And you know, we all know about the gang culture is everywhere. It's everywhere you go, in every street is always somebody's territory. And why I say watered down thugs can't relate to my pain is because of all the stuff that I have endured in my life when it comes to, you know, being related to somebody that's in that lifestyle is not easy. So when it comes to these so-called want to be, you know, involved with that lifestyle, it's just very weird because it's like you have no idea what us people who's actually from here for decades have to endure, you know, just being from out here. You know, we can't just walk to any street. You can't just walk to any street thinking that you won't get, you know what I mean, pressed on. You know, you have to worry about where you going, worry about how you dress and stuff like that. If you not really involved in that lifestyle, okay, mind you, if you involved, you can do whatever you want. But when you're not involved, like me, there's just certain things that you know, that we just have to be careful with. And it's crazy, but that's just how it is, just growing up there. And next we have not only me as anybody from my city, City of Angels, from the beauty to the cemetery. Now, this bar right here is like just basically what I said earlier. But of course, you know, Los Angeles is known for like City of Angels. And why I said from the beauty to the cemetery, we are known to have beautiful women. And, you know, so we have this angelic figure. And of course, you know, a lot of people, you know, passed on where I'm from. So I refer also the angels to like the cemetery, you know what I mean? Just transition in spiritual form. So that's what that bar meant. And then next we have come from a fabric that's made in the gardens. They can't relate because their breed is lab created. One of my favorite bars that I said on here, um, you know how people say, you know, I'm come from a different cloth, I'm cut from a different cloth. So that I kind of like switch up that saying, that phrase real quick, and do it like that. And that, which I also meant, like I came from the soil, as long, you know, along with everybody. Like I came from this soil, this is the soil that I came from. And I said they can't relate because their breed is lab created. Now it's the double entendre because we all know, you know, the laboratory dog. You know what I mean? And I hope I said that right. The laboratory dog is a breed, and you know, they can't relate because they're like manipulated, they're like manufactured by everybody else. They cannot really understand like what comes with the territory. So that's what that bar meant. Shout out to myself. Shout out to myself. I've been working on my craft since I was 10. Okay. So that's why, you know, that was like that. So if you want to check out that single is on SoundCloud and YouTube. So yeah, go ahead and do that if you want to check that out. Now, next concept we finna do is finna take some time. Flowers, okay, where we acknowledge people who contributed to the rap culture and just showing them love. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, boom, that's harmony, yes. One of my favorite groups of all time. Okay, they made a lot of classic hits that we still play to this day, hits that still playing on the radio, hits that people don't forget, hits that a lot of people can like resonate with, have memories by. Like, oh my gosh, I can go on. Now, my favorite, I know it's not right to have favorites in the group, but my favorite is Busy Bone. Okay, so That's my dog. Uh, but yeah, I love everybody else. But Busy Bone, I just have some kind of connection with because I'm the youngest and he's the youngest, so that's why I can like kind of relate to Busy Bone. But of course, Bone Thugs and Harmony is one of the biggest groups, especially on Ruthless Records, made by Eazy-E, as we know, founded by Eazy-E. And, they are the only group existed to have a song with Eazy-E, Notorious B.I.G., and Tupac, okay? The only group that managed to do that, you know what I'm saying? Which I find very cool, you know what I mean? Yeah, I have my top 10 favorite Bone Thug songs. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with this. They come from Cleveland, okay, Cleveland, Ohio. All right. I know some people thought that they was from the West Coast, oddly, but they're not. They're from Cleveland. So they had 10 albums throughout their whole career together as a group. Now, before I start, remember Flesh and Bone, Lazy Bone, Wishbone, Crazy Bone, and Busy Bone. Okay, just to let y'all know. Now, start off with Coming on a Come Up. Okay, now Coming on a Come Up. Now, this was the first album that has been released under Ruthless Records. Okay, they started off as Bone Enterprise, but they changed their name to Bone Thugs and Harmony. But this is the first album that has been released under Ruthless Records, and it was released on June 21st, 1994. Okay, and the singles from this is Thuggish Ruggish Bone. And for the love of money, which is my favorite and it's still on some soundtracks to this day. And the album went 4 times platinum, which is a good thing. Okay, it's a good thing. All right, so East 99 Internal. Okay, so this album was released after, unfortunately, Eazy-E passed away. So this was released a couple months after he unfortunately passed on. Now, this was released on July 25th, 1995. Singles from this album, First of the Month, Wake Up, Wake Up, Wake Up, it's the first. East 99 and The Crossroads. The Crossroads is one of Bone Thugs' biggest song as of yet. You know what I mean? People really do play that song when they miss somebody, when they lost somebody. Like, that song is very touchy to this day. I remember quoted that some artist says that they can't even watch that video because it was just too surreal. But that song was one of their biggest hits because it's like very relatable. We all lost somebody, and that song is just very like touching to people. Like, that's just one of their classic hits. You know what I mean? And next, The Art of War, one of my favorite albums by Bone. Okay, and this was released on July 29, 1997. The singles from this album is Look Into My Eyes. And if I Could Teach the World, and this went 4 times platinum. Okay. Yeah, this album right here, let me go down the list. So when it comes to Creeping on a Come Up, that concept of that album was really about like where they grew up from and how they grew up, and just really like giving that Cleveland lifestyle, just just that thug living. So that was what that album is. And East 99 Internal was really like a memory of Eazy-E kind of album, which is why they put E99 Internal, which I think is cool. But also that's the same street that they grew up on. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's what that was. And The Art of War is more like a kind of, I don't know if dark is the word, but it was like, hey man, we on this thug stuff, and we finna be on some gangster stuff. Like, it was kind of have a dark concept in a sense. You know what I mean? Because Handle the Vibe, that's a song on there, one of my favorite songs. And You Ain't Bone, that was my favorite songs on there. They was like throwing shots at some artists. It's like, yeah, y'all trying to be like us. So, with that being said, I'm gonna call you out. And you know what I'm saying? So that's what that album was about. But other than that, my favorite song was These Are the Days of My Lives, and that's on the Set It Off soundtrack. But honestly, I have to say, it kind of it's kind of crazy how everybody, when it comes to the fans, of course they acknowledge, but when it comes to like award shows and stuff like that, especially if it's not BET, they don't get the acknowledgement they deserve. And they only have a Grammy from the Crossroads that made a Grammy, but I just feel like they should have more accolades because they touch a lot of people. They Bone Thugs and Harmony is one of the most melodic groups of all times. Okay, imagine like having like harmonizing on some rap music. They did it. They did it. You know what I mean? And they might as well be singers, but nah, they actually they wanted to sing, but they just decided, oh, you know what? Let's just rap and just do it like that. And the fast rap and like we all know if you're trying to fast rap and trying to harmonize, we know that you got that from Bone. We know that you're influenced by Bone. You know what I mean? And I just have to say, this is one of my favorite groups of all times. Okay, I have top 10 favorite Bone Thug songs. Okay, and I just feel like they needs to be acknowledged. Now, us fans, we know we've been new. Okay, we've been new that they the ish. Okay, I can't say the word, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They have a lot of memorable hits, memorable moments and times, and they really showed brotherhood. Even though, there has been some times where they didn't get along, at the end of the day, that's what brothers do. So again, shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Love y'all. Now we finna go to compare and contrast, okay? All right. So Just Blaze and Kanye West. Okay, we're gonna compare and contrast these two producers. Okay, Just Blaze and Kanye West. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna go back to my childhood on this one. Okay, so both of these producers we know is on, Roc-A-Fella. If it wasn't for Roc-A-Fella, we would know these two, and if it wasn't for these two, I don't know how the sound of Roc-A-Fella would go. Okay, let's just being real. Okay, and they both are credited on Jay-Z's The Dynasty, Rock Love Familiar, The Blueprint 2, The Gift of the Curse, and the Black Album. Okay, so they was both credited on those albums. And they both produced for T.I., Jadakiss, and The Game. And they are the kings of sampling and sequencing. Okay, they are, when it comes to samples, nobody does it like Kanye, the old Kanye. You know what I mean? If you want to get technical, and Just Blaze. Okay, so let's talk about the difference. Let's get into Just Blaze real quick. Just Blaze. Okay, he's the only one that had a tagline. Okay, he's the only one that has his own tagline. All right, Kanye West not so really, but his well-known production is Pump, 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 hey, Pump It Up by Joe and Breathe by Fabulous. And PSA or public service announcement interlude by Jay-Z, and Rock the Mic by Beanie Siegel, and Freeway. Yo, his thing on there. And he loves using drum breaks, bass, kick, snare, and punches in his beats. And he focuses on the emotions and the dynamics of the beat, which makes sense. And that's what helps Just Blaze to stand out, because Song Cry, which is a song that he produced by Jay-Z, when you listen to that song, it sounds very emotional and it sounds very sad. So I really do believe that. And Rock the Mic, it sounds like a club, and Flip Side, that sounds like some club stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you're right. When it comes to the beat, you want to make sure that when you produce, it's you focus on the emotion. It kind of gives the artist like a leeway to like what should I do with this beat? You know what I mean? What kind of beat am I working with here? Is it just straight up bars? I'm talking about some emotional touchy stuff, or just some club stuff. So that makes sense. You know what I mean? And with Kanye, His well-known production is, Dreams by The Game and Overnight Celebrity by Twista. Okay, Selfish by Slum Village and Stand Up by Ludacris. When I move, you move. Just like that. Okay. Now, when it comes to the production credits, we all know that they produce for, almost everybody in Roc-A-Fella, but we want to make sure we acknowledge artists that they produce that's outside of Roc-A-Fella. So that's why we do it like that. You know what I mean? Don't think that we missing out on stuff, and we talking about their biggest hits that, that they're known for. So that's why we doing it like that. And this kind of resonates with the new Kanye. He likes to have high pitched vocals in his samples, especially now. And he used vocals as an instrument, which I find that very unique because when you think about it, yeah, our vocals is an instrument. So it makes sense when you look at it in that kind of spectrum. And of course, he used bass line and used synthesizer. And I have to say, man, these two right here, I don't know how Roc-A-Fella would be if it wasn't for Just Blaze and Kanye. I'm just going to be real. I don't know how it would sound. You know what I mean? Because Encore, Kanye did Encore on the Black album. And like I said, public service announcement, Just Blaze did that. I don't know how it would sound. You know what I mean? I know that Jay-Z and his sound will be a little bit different, but these two man helped build Roc-A-Fella. You cannot deny that. They helped build Roc-A-Fella. They helped found Roc-A-Fella's sound. Okay. And Get Down by Beanie Sigel was produced by Just Blaze, which is one of my favorite songs by Beanie Sigel. Okay. But yeah, shout out to Just Blaze and Kanye West. Okay, y'all are definitely pioneers, and y'all dang sure know what y'all was doing. Okay, so the next concept we're going to do is Returning to the Capsule. This is a 2010 edition. All right, so we just dig into albums that was released in the 2010s era. All right. So we're going to start off with Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. Okay, this was his second studio album that he released. All right, of course, he released it under TDE. And this was his biggest album yet. It was a non-skipper, okay? So, and also this is a non-skipper edition, might as well say that. This was released on October 22nd, 2012, sorry. 2012. And the singles from this album is The Recipe, Swimming Pools, of course, that's still playing on the radio to this day, Backseat Freestyle, Poetic Justice, and Chick Don't Kill My Vibe. And Money Trees is my favorite song on the album. Okay. I play that till this day. All right. So yeah. And it peaked number 1 on the US top R&B and hip hop albums Billboard. And it's certified 3 times platinum. Okay, certified 3 times platinum and 2 times platinum in Australia, which is cool. And 4 Grammy nominations from this album in the year 2012. So Kendrick, he tried to say that this album's not really a classic album, but it is. When you have a non-skippable album, I would deem that as classic, okay? And shoot, Swimming Pools are still on the radio, so how is how is not a classic at this point? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how will it? But other than that, of course, the whole world was low-key introduced to Kendrick. But if you're from LA and Compton, you've been new about Kendrick. You've been new about him for a long time. But this was his biggest commercial success. Okay. And this album just talk about how it is growing up in Compton and his life experiences and what's been going on. So that was the concept of this album. So again, shout out to Kendrick. This might as well be a Kendrick episode. So next we got 2014 Forest Hill Drive by J. Cole. Okay. I feel like this is one of his best projects. I feel like this. That's a personal thing. And it was released on December 9, 2014. Singles from this album is Apparently, Wet Dreams, No Role Models, and Love Yours. I love No Role Models. That beat is very classical, like very classical, like. Hey, and I saw somebody did a piano tutorial on that song, and it was just beautiful. This was his third album. And it peaked #1 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums and U.S. Billboard 200, and it's certified 3 times platinum. Okay, in the U.S. and it won BET Award of the Year and top rap album in 2015, and it was Grammy nominated. And this was his biggest yet. This was his biggest album yet, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And it's a non-skipper, like I said earlier. It's a non-skipper, okay, and No Role Models. I love that song. I felt like that song needed to be made. Hey, so shout out to J. Cole. Next, we have. Okay, got him on my chain. All right. Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle. Okay. Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle. All right. So this was released on February 16th, 2018. Singles from this album is Rap Ninjas and Last Time I Checked. And this is his first studio album, and it peaked #1 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums, and it has been certified platinum. And this album is a non-skipper to this day. Okay, and this album, I felt like the concept of this just really revolves around it, and just enjoying the fruits of his labor, how it was growing up, just all around, just surrounded by his life. And I just love the fact that he was able to do that, for this to be his first album. Yeah, he does have music videos on almost all the songs that he put on there. My favorite songs on this album has to be Blue Laces 2, Rap Ninjas, and dang near the whole album, man. This is a non-skipper. This is an album that you could ride to, and yeah. So I wish that there was like a second album that he released, but that's going to happen eventually. But this was a good album. So long live Nipsey Hussle. That's my big bro right there. Long live Nipsey. So what do you like from this episode? What was your favorite? Was you repeating rap ties like me? You know what I'm saying? What you thought about Tough and Rough by me? And what's your favorite Bone Thugs and Harmony song, album? You know what I mean? Was the Crossroads was your favorite song? You know what I mean? What's your favorite Just Blaze and Kanye West production? You know what I mean? What songs had they put out that was your favorite? You know what I mean? And Return to the Capsule. Good Kid, Mad City. You know what I mean? Was that your favorite album, Mike Kendrick? You know what I mean? How do you really feel about 2014 Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole? And what's your favorite song? And what's your take on Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle? So that has been an episode of Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was a nice episode here, okay? And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you on the next one. And stay safe, y'all. Peace out.